I don't have Minecraft.
Have you heard?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
God is good.
Hello.
All the
Hola,
time.
chicos.
Now, these two things are kind of interrelated. Now, when Harappan civilization disappeared, they don't know what happened. The original natives of the subcontinent of India are called Dravidians. That's spelled this way. Okay?
Wait, what? I thought you said
So, the Dravidians are the original natives of the subcontinent. And we talked about last week that a group of people that came from kind of Europe, Asia, Indo-European Asia, came through that pass in the what mountains? Not the Himalayas. The Himalayas are too high.
The Himalayas.
Okay? So over here in the Hindu Kush Mountains, you have Khyber Pass. And you had the Aryans. So the Aryans came in and conquered India. The Aryans are the ones that set up this caste system and also used the religion of Hinduism to their advantage. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So, there are basically 4 castes in the caste system. So if we had to define a caste system, we say it's a social class structure that governs life. All your life. And when you were born, you would be born into one of these 4 castes. The top castes were who? The Brahmins, who are the priests.
That sounds like
Then you had who? Then you had the Kshatriyas. Who are the what?
Warriors.
Thank you for raising your hand, Matt. The warriors and nobles. Okay, then you had the what? Vaishyas. Who are the who?
Traders, craftspeople, and farmers.
Okay, so they're the merchants. And then you had the who?
The slaves.
Sudras. And they're the who?
The slaves.
Workers and servants.
So they call those the peasants. So that's the lowest caste.
It's kind of mean.
Now the thing, so if I was born a peasant, I couldn't do anything to get me out of that caste. I would be in that caste.
Oh, so it's like
What could happen though is you had another group of people that they called the Dalits. That they were called what? They're called Untouchables, and this is also where we get a new term that we use. The reason they were called Untouchables because that's how they were treated. You couldn't even touch them. So if an untouchable came down the road, they would have to shout, untouchable, untouchable, or unclean, unclean. In fact, if they were crossing the road and they saw people coming down, they would have to cross the other side. Because they were unclean in their religion. This is where we get this word, outcasts. Okay? An outcast means they're not even in a caste. They were outside of the caste. So if you feel like an outcast, that means what?
You're untouchable.
It means like you don't belong. And so basically, these were the people that did not belong within the society. They were outside the society. Why did they get thrown outside of the society? Because they did something in violation of their religion, okay, which put them out of the caste system. And the way, so let's look at the religion then. First of all, what did you learn from the video about the religion? How does this compare to other religions? How does it compare to the religion of Egypt?
Well, it's the oldest religion.
So it's the oldest religion, oldest known religion. What else about it?
Well, Egypt has a lot more, like gods and stuff than it said.
But they both are polytheistic.
And then I have another question.
So that means they what? Polytheistic means what?
They believe in
Many gods. So they have many gods. They just named 3 of the ones on the movie.
Yeah, I know.
They have many more than that. Okay?
Indras.
Many more than that.
They believe in karma.
Okay? So we're going to talk about karma and dharma and how this all fits in with. So let's start with one of their basic beliefs, which is this: reincarnation. And it's tied in. That's why they also have this belief, ahimsa, that they didn't mention on the movie. So reincarnation means what?
When you die, you get like
So they believe your soul, when it dies, doesn't die. It's reborn as something else or someone else. Okay? So your soul, which they called the what? What was the term for soul? Anybody get that down?
I remember that one. Mexico.
The Atman is your soul. So the Atman, they believe, is reborn. And you're reborn based on how you live your life. And that's also the reason they could keep these castes. Okay? Now, so the other term is this is tied in with this. This belief is non-injury to animals. That means strict Hindus are what? They're vegetarians. Okay?
Well, didn't they know?
They, because they believe that even animals have a soul.
Is that why they
So
have
that's
to
part of
believe-
it. And then they also have this belief of karma. I don't know if I spell it right, but. Okay? Karma is this force in the universe
if you do something to someone else, or something bad will happen to you.
that determines
Outcomes.
your rebirth.
Oh. So if you were bad, you would be a bug. It's like an ant. Or a dung
That's how
beetle.
they get people to stay in their caste. Okay? So let's say I'm a peasant. So what I'm going to do in my lifetime is try to be what?
Good.
The best peasant I can be. Not because I'm trying to go up in my life here, but so that when I die, what?
You can become a cow.
I'll be reborn and hopefully get reborn into a higher caste.
Oh.
Because if I try to get out of my caste, that's going to give me bad what?
Karma.
That's going to give me bad karma. And bad karma will result in me being reborn what?
A dung beetle.
Even lower, or it could actually kick me out.
A potato.
Okay? It could actually kick me out of my caste, which is the worst. Okay?
So no animals?
Now the other term they had here is Dharma.
I have no idea what that means.
Dharma is like the rules and regulations. This is, I'm giving you a simplified view here, okay? Your Dharma determines your what?
Outcome.
Your karma.
Oh.
So if I follow the Dharma, well, what?
You get good outcome.
I'm going to get good karma, which means I'm going to be reborn what?
As
Higher up. What's your question?
So if you like were like in like one part of the system, would you have to marry somebody that was in that system?
Yes, you can't cross your caste. Okay? Like I say, you're stuck in this caste.
What if you
So there's no way a merchant can marry a warrior. Okay? It's a very structured caste system.
oh, I don't know.
You only associate with people in your caste.
so you can't even look at other people?
Again, if you were here, these would be held up in honor, higher up than you. And you treat them as higher up than you. And these higher people would treat you what?
Lower.
As lower.
You look down.
Okay?
So if you started out as nothing, like the Dalits, and
The
then
Dalits, again, they messed up during their lifetime. And they're living it as an outcast now. So they're going to get all the dirtiest jobs. Okay? They get the worst jobs there are. The jobs that nobody wants to do. One of the jobs here is because they mentioned one of their sacred animals. All animals are sacred to them, but the cow is especially sacred. You know why the cow is so sacred?
No. They keep trying to
it's
give
the
it
best.
Because it gives them so many things. Okay? What does the cow give them?
milk.
A cow tongue.
No.
Okay?
Burgers. No, they're not.
It's not going to give them burgers.
Burgers.
Why?
Because they're not
They'd
killing
be-
them.
Okay?
Oh, yeah,
That would be violating this, and you'd risk bad karma, or you'd risk becoming untouchable. So definitely milk, though, and dairy products, milk and butter, butter and cheese. Okay.
And a good friend if you're lonely.
What else?
And a good friend.
Yogurt.
Fertilizer for your fields.
Soda.
Wait, is that
Yes, you are. Thank you. A lawnmower. Do they have like special ceremonies?
grass is salesman?
They use them for work.
They're sacred.
Grass is natural predator.
Trade?
Why would they use them for trade?
You might trade cows as part of it, but that's not why the cow is sacred. Okay.
It was ancient Egypt style.
They use them for transportation.
They could like make people pay to see their
Okay. And the fifth,
money.
you might.
Power. How many cows do you have? What? Mule? Do they like cut them up and put them in a car?
No.
Yeah.
Same thing for fertilizer. I had a friend that went to India one time, and they had these push carts, like you might see downtown, where they sell
Yeah.
stuff off the push cart.
Yeah. It stinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he could go into India, and he had a push cart with roasted peanuts.
Ooh.
But you don't want to eat their roasted peanuts the way we would eat them. Our roasted peanuts, oftentimes, what do they put on the outside?
Candy.
On the shell, what do they put on it?
Salt.
Salt. So some people pop the whole shell in, and then they break it and eat the peanut, right?
Yeah.
Because you get some of that salt too.
Yeah.
You want to do that in India, because in India, they roast their peanuts off of a cow dung fire.
Whoa.
So basically, when the cow leaves a patty on the ground, they put that on the side of the wall to dry out, and that becomes fuel that you can burn. Okay? So cow patties you can actually burn. They make a fuel. Of course, they burn and they what?
They die,
They
boys.
stink, but they still have a good fire and they burn. Now, so the peanut on the outside is going to stink, but the inside tastes good.
What?
Okay? So all these reasons the cow is sacred to them. So one of the bad jobs you know, the Untouchables had to be. One is called a cow catcher. Even today, this is a problem because cows are so sacred in India today. They let them roam. And sometimes, like we have problem with deer hitting deer in the roads and stuff, cows can wander in the road and just sit down in the middle of traffic.
Well, what's up, guys?
Now, if they do that, okay,
Just right.
if they do that, you don't want to mess with them. Why?
Because of establishing dominance.
It goes back to here again. If I upset or bother a cow, I could get what?
Downgraded.
I could get bad karma. And then I'm going to be reborn as something what? Something worse. Okay?
Like and subscribe right now.
Here, I'm gonna stand here if you don't mind.
Listen
Live,
up. We're not done yet.
live right now. We're live. Like and
We're not
subscribe
done
to
yet.
Daddy Mr. Hill.
So, guess who the Aryans were?
Awesome.
The conquerors.
The Dalits? The Dalits?
The Aryans, they came in and conquered and set up this system. Guess who they
Oh,
are?
the warriors.
The Mayans?
Okay, they're up here.
Of course.
Okay, the people they conquered are where? Down here.
Oh.
There were fewer Aryans than the people they conquered. But if they can believe this and tie it in with their religion, okay, I'm not going to rebel and try to overthrow these cats. Because why?
Because then it would be like bad. They would have bad karma.
Okay, I get bad karma, get reborn something. The overall goal, they said, is moksha, right? What's moksha?
Chicken.
So that's kind of what their idea of heaven is. This total enlightenment that you get if you have perfect karma. After many being... That's why today, or even today back and then, if a person is suffering in the world today, the Hindus believe what?
You're dead. You were.
Why are they suffering in the world today? Because in a previous life they had bad karma and they're living it out now. So me helping that suffering person is what?
Bad karma. Good karma.
It's a bad thing.
Oh, it is.
Because they're actually what?
There.
They're living out what they deserve. And if I help them, they're not going to be able to break their cycle. And then I'm going to get bad karma. What?
What's their whole word?
And they were like, Nathan was roasted peanuts.
Like and subscribe to Daddy Mr. Hale. Is it on?
Still on, Mia.
Hi! Like and subscribe to Daddy Mr. Hale right now, or else my dad will slap you in your feet. Bye, have a good day. Don't have a good day.
No.
Do whatever you want.
For social study.
No homework.
As if I just hide behind a cow.
I'm slapping you. Bye, like and subscribe to Daddy Mr. Hale.